All right, so this question is talking about, if you read the question, it says, in the equation above, t is a constant. If the equation has no real solutions, which of the following could be the value of t? So first of all, what I'm about to teach you only works on a quadratic. This is a quadratic, okay? If you have a quadratic equation, then you can find out the types of zeros by using what's called the discriminant. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, and that's what's under the square root of your quadratic equation. So your quadratic is negative b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. And what's under the square root, this guy, b squared minus 4ac, has a name. It's called discriminant, but you don't need to know that name. What you need to know is what kind of number that is determines what kinds of solutions a quadratic has, okay? If you think about it, if this number is a positive number, I'm going to get 2 answers because I'm going to take whatever this is, add, and divide by 2. And then I'm going to take whatever this is, subtract, and divide by 2. And I'll end up with 2 real answers. If what's under this is 0, I'll only have 1 answer, negative b over 2, a over 2a, okay? And if what's under there is negative, that means I've got an imaginary number, and they come in pairs, so there would be 2 non-real zeros. So this question says, in the equation above, t is constant, if the equation has no real solutions, if it's no real solutions, I want b squared minus 4ac to be less than 0. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I want to figure it out, it's got to be equal to 0, so I'm going to move t over. So this becomes 2x squared minus 4x minus t equals 0. And then your a is 2, your b is negative 4, and your c is negative t. So b squared would be negative 4 squared minus 4 times 2 times c, which is negative t. And I want this to be less than 0. So I get 16 plus 8t has to be less than 0. And I could either take these values and I could plug them in and see which one works, or I could keep solving. So I would subtract the 16. 8t less than negative 16, divide by 8. And t has to be less than negative 2. There's only one of these choices that's less than negative 2, and it's a, which is negative 3. If it had said you want it to be one solution, then I would want it to equal 0. If it said it wanted to have 2 real solutions, then it would have to be greater than 0. Questions on that one? All right, so this first question says, if x is the solution to the equation above, what's the value of the square root of x minus 3? So first of all, I want to figure out what x is by solving this. If you remember from Algebra 2, if they had 2 square roots, this becomes a nightmare because you have to square both sides, and when you square the right-hand side, you have to expand and FOIL, and then you have a square root, so you have to square again. It's possible to do this without your graphing utility, but if you have your Desmos, which you get on the SAT and the PSAT, let me see if it'll work. Then I literally split this into 2 equations. I say y equals this guy and y equals this guy, and I see where they cross. And where they cross is your solution. So I'm going to try it. Okay, so again, what I did is I literally split my equation, and I made the top y equals the left side of it, and I made the bottom y equals the right side of it. And where they cross, which is 4, 1, would be the solution to this question, okay? The x is 4, so my x equals 4 when I solve this equation. And then the question is not saying what's x, it's saying what's the value of the square root of x minus 3. So it would be 4 minus 3, square root of 1, which is 1. And that's your first answer. Questions on that one? All right, question 2. Says how many order pairs satisfy the system of the equation shown above? This is the systems of equation. So it could ask you what solution, what is the xy that solves it, or it could ask you something like this, which just says how many solutions. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Desmos. I'm going to type these 2 in. And the beauty of Desmos is it doesn't have to equal y. I could type it in as x equals 2y plus 5, and I could type it in as y equals 2x minus 3 plus 9. All right, so I graphed these, right? I typed it in exactly as it is. And the green is obviously my parabola, and the blue is obviously my line. And how many solutions are there? Two. It crosses 2 times. So there are 2 solutions. Okay, if the question had said, what are they? Then you can actually physically tap on those things and you can get what they are. Questions on that one? Okay, this last one, okay, we'll talk about, this is a little bit more of a trick on Desmos. It says, in the xy plane, align with the equation 4y minus or equals p for some constant p intersects a parabola at exactly 1 point. So for a line to intersect a parabola at exactly 1 point, where does that happen? If the line is horizontal, there's no x in this, right? If there's got an x in it, it could be tangent to it, so it could be around the side. But if there's no x, it's horizontal. So for a horizontal line to intersect a parabola at exactly 1 point, where does that happen? The vertex. So I'm gonna plot this equation, okay? And I'll show you how you do that. Like y equals 5x squared minus 7x. Okay, so for this question, it says in the xy plane, align with the equation 4y equals p for some constant p intersects a parabola at exactly 1 point. If the parabola has the equation and it gives the equation, what's the value of p? So first of all, before we even dive into how this would look on a graphing utility, if I've got a parabola, and this is one that points up, and I want to find a line that doesn't have an x, so this is going to be a horizontal line, that intersects at exactly 1 point, I'm looking for the line that intersects it exactly at its vertex. So now if I type into the Desmos calculator, I'm going to type the parabola, so y equals 5x squared minus 7x. There's my parabola. And then the next one I'm going to type is 4y equals, and I'm going to type it in exactly as it is. So I'm going to give it the p. Now when you do that, you'll see the little yield sign says we only support implicit equations of x and y, which means it knows it's missing the x. I'm going to add the x in, but without changing this equation, I need it to be 0x. So I'm going to add plus 0x. And it didn't change my equation, but now it's going to graph that line. Hit enter, and it's going to give you a slider for p. The slider adjusts your values of p, and it will actually move the line, and you want to get it to where you have exactly 1 point. So if I tap on this graph, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to tap on the graph, and you'll actually see the little points line up. And I'm going to move my slider until there is only 1 point in common, which happens here. And that p-value is negative 9.8. So this kind of question was actually an open-ended question in which my only correct answer would be negative 9.8.